in downtown La Mesa Village. We're gonna learn all about this plaque program. You might have seen these as you're cruising around the village. We're meeting with Jim with the La Mesa Historical Society. He's gonna tell us the story behind the plaques today. I'm Kyle Whissel with Whissel Realty Group. This is Food for Thought on everything East County. Jim, what's up, my friend?
Good to see you again.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you back on the show. What are we gonna learn about today?
We're going to learn about a little project, a little educational project that the Society partnered with the Rotary Club of La Mesa here. If you're downtown, we have our plaque project, which has a wonderful tour. If you get, there's a brochure. There's 12 sites where we put up historical photo plaques with a little information. You can look at downtown La Mesa in the past and compare it with today.
I love it, and that's the goal of the show, guys. We want to tell the history of East County. There's so much history behind all of these buildings. I mean, you come in downtown La Mesa now, there's all these cool restaurants and shops, but it's cool to kind of see what this used to be. So Jim, I'm excited. Let's get to it.
All right. We're here at the oldest commercial building still standing in La Mesa. This is the La Mesa Lemon Company building. At least this half of it is. It was constructed in 1895 as when this area was hoping to become a citrus producing place. This is next to the railroad, perfect place to collect all of the lemons, get your money, and then they'd ship them off from here. The building was expanded in 1912, and one of its first tenants was actually the local paper, the La Mesa Scout, who was here for many years. In the 1920s, it was sort of reconfigured in this with open windows on both these sides because it was the first Ford dealership in town, the company that would later be sold to the Drew family. So very significant building, dates back to the original 1895 subdivision around the depot known as La Mesa Springs and the La Mesa Lemon Company building, the oldest commercial building here in La Mesa. This is a very historic site here. So this was sort of the edge of town. So in 1906, when the Park Grayville Company came in and started subdividing around the sort of core downtown here around the depot, this corner became very prominent. And in 1908, this was actually the site of the La Mesa Opera House, which was here until 1926. And that was sort of the main theater, gathering spot for folks, and it was like a regular theater, like a performance theater. That building was torn down for the building of the Bank of Southern California, which was a local bank that later was bought out by another company. So this building obviously has been an iconic, and like bank buildings in the 20s, it's a very sturdy, even though it has the sort of Mediterranean style that was popular in San Diego and in Southern California in the 20s. You can still see built solid, so you know your money's safe, right? And then for the last about 40 years, it's been the Por Favor restaurant, which most people recognize when you say this is the Por Favor site. So this is in fact the Bank of Southern California building. It's not the Opera House. Some people think it's the Opera House. The Opera House was here, torn down to build this building. All right, so this is actually the Wolf Building, and this is the first plaque that the Society actually put up here to commemorate the fact that this is where, over 100 years ago, the Flying A Film Company had their studio. And so in fact, this is actually what is documented as the third brick and mortar studio in California. We beat Hollywood by about 3 months. They ended up getting a long-term deal, but we had them beat, so just that comes up once in a while about La Mesa. So, and this was a pioneering firm. Alan Dwan later went on to direct over 400 films, everything from Douglas Fairbanks, Shirley Temple, John Wayne. His career went from 1907 all the way up to about 1962. Well-known director. He got his start here with this company. They spent about 3 months in Lakeside before moving to this concrete building that was built in 1911. It was built originally with half of it was going to be for the local undertaker, and the other half made sense for them because they needed a building to deal with the very volatile film that was dealt with back then. So if you've ever heard, the early films were very volatile, they would catch on fire and things, so they needed a safe building to which to process their films. They did over 101 reelers, which are about 10 to 15 minute films about all kinds of various things. Now they came out here to California mostly to do westerns, and they sort of tapped themselves out after about 11 months here in La Mesa and took an offer to move to Santa Barbara, where they spent the next 8 years before they went out of business. So this is a very important, this is sort of the film heritage site for La Mesa. Thanks to a couple of our early members, Gordon Jones, and who was president at the time, and Wade Douglas, we were able to get this plaque put up, and it was the first that inspired us then to work with the Rotary Club of La Mesa to do the other 11 plaques. So this is the site of Sheldons service station here at 4th Avenue. This was sort of the end of downtown in the 20s. And this is actually the first gas station to be built solely as a gas station here in La Mesa. It was built in 1920. And George Sheldon actually went on to being a very important businessman, as well as a founding member of the Rotary Club, and was mayor of the city from 1926 to 1930. He also was a developer at Mount Nebo, and that's why if you remember, there's a Sheldon Street up at Mount Nebo. And it was the first solely to deal with the fact that this, in fact, was the US 80 route. This was the state and federal highway route to come through downtown in the 20s. And so he wanted to make sure he could catch that business right here. Did very well. And the building has been adapted a little bit. It doesn't need any gas pumps, but you can get both leaded and unleaded coffee here if you need it.
Jim, I appreciate you showing us around today. If somebody wants to get connected with you, the Historical Society, the Rotary Club, what's the best way to get in contact with you
Well,
guys?
the best way probably is our website, lamesahistory.com, or you can come over to the McKinney House on Saturdays when we're open to the public. But always check that website, see what kind of cool events and things. And you can find out about programs like the Plaque Project, which was a great project with our partners at the Rotary Club of La Mesa who helped fund. We did the first one and they paid for the next 11, so a great partnership, really super community service organization that shows you just how great La Mesa is.
I love it. La Mesa Historical Society, La Mesa Rotary Club, we appreciate you guys telling the story of downtown La Mesa, or the Village as they call it. We hope you guys appreciated this episode of Everything East County. If there's other cool stories untold in East County, we'd love the opportunity to tell those stories, connect us with the people that can help make it happen. We'll see you on the next episode of Food for Thought here on Everything East County.